Hey guys, I'm back with the rest of the makeup for this look, and the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take, here it is, my Maybelline Fit Me Loose Powder in the shade Fair Light number 10, and just a fluffy brush, just take a little bit of it, while the Tarte Shape Tape is very, very matte and dries down very well. I like to soften my eyeshadow primer or concealer, whatever I decide to use that day, with a little bit of face powder. Alright, so now I have to decide which one of the two palettes I'm going to use that are in front of me. I have the Morphe 3502 palette, or I have the Morphe Jaclyn Hill palette. They're both extremely gorgeous. Love the payoff and everything about them. The Jaclyn Hill palette is 38, I believe. For this palette, it is absolutely stunning. Love it. I really love this pinky duochrome color. It's got like a gold shift to it, and it looks like you've actually put gold and pink on, and it's just gorgeous, and I love it. Gotta grab a makeup wipe. And then from the Morphe 3502 palette, ooh, girl, let me tell you, these shades are absolutely beautiful. Let me remove that. I love it. This shade up here is Ruby. Oh, I think the second look that I've ever posted on Instagram is with that shade all over my lid. Absolutely gorgeous. Love it. And actually, I think this is the palette I'm going to take. This palette comes with a little clear sheet you put over the colors to tell you what they are. And then the Jaclyn Hill palette has all of the colors on the back with their names. So, we're going to go in with the shade Universal, which is up in the top left-hand corner. And we're just going to fluff that all through our crease and on the outer V. I do have to work today, so this isn't going to be an extravagant look. It's going to be probably one of my soft glam looks, but it's not going to be the same that I've been posting on Instagram. So, and yes, I do bring it into this inner corner because it slims down your face, and it slims down your nose, and it gives you a contour, and it doesn't make my face as chubby, let's face it. So I'm just going to put that through my crease on the other eye as well. So, what kind of makeup looks are you all into? Give me some ideas. Because I usually do the more neutral, warm tone looks. And I'm getting new makeup. Like, I ordered hella makeup between ColourPop and Ulta, and then I'm planning on buying more stuff from Ulta because 21 Days of Beauty, come on, man. But I've bought a lot of makeup in the last couple of days, so let me know what you want to see. The next color I'm going to take is Orb, which is 2 over from Universal, right on the top row. And this one, I do tap off a little bit of the excess, by the way, because these are mega pigmented. I'm just going to buff that on the outer corner, And once I get that blended out and a lot of the shade off of the brush, I'll drag it through my crease and up a little bit because you want this to stay blended. Girl, you do not know how much I just want to take a brush when I walk by girls and go and fix their eyebrow, their eyeshadow. I'm like, nah, that's not how you do that. I'm going to take the same color on the other side in the same way. Most of the people that will be watching my videos already know me, but for those of you that don't, I'm a very honest and opinionated person. I will never lie to you about how I feel about a palette or an eyeshadow in general or anything, really. So that's one thing you don't have to worry about if you're going to watch me and be a follower. That's pretty much it. I'm a decent person when it comes to everything else, though. And the next color I'm going to take is Spice. It is 2 shades underneath Orb, which is the last one. This is a big palette. Spice, which is this one right here. Just going to take that on the same brush. I barely change my brushes when I do my eyeshadow because if you go from lightest to darkest, you'll be fine. And I'm just going to put that a little lower in the crease and outer corner just to give some depth. I think today, instead of going straight soft glam, I'm going to add a little depth into it. Then I'm going to take, we're going to take the shade, and it's called Rich. It is definitely, I thought it was a burgundy. It's not really a burgundy, it is more of just a warm brown. All I'm going to do is stamp that on the outer corner and fluff it. When I get into the deeper colors, that's when I start using more than just the same brush, just because you really do need to be careful, and they're pigmented, so you need to be even more careful. If you see fallout or anything, though, it's fine. I dig into my palettes pretty good, so there's a lot of kickback. So, it's pretty normal, and I do my eyeshadow first for that reason. Oh, I just stabbed myself in the eye with that. Alright, and then trying to find the brush I want. Here it is. This is just a little Real Techniques brush. It is a base shadow brush. With that, the only downfall to the two palettes is the lightest matte shade is my transition. Girl, I'm pale as hell. What you mean? That's the one thing I wish was in these palettes, though, is like a nice brow bone highlight that wasn't shimmer. But, oh well. So we're just going to take a little itty bitty, like barely dipped in to fade out up here a little more. Because it started to be a little too much. And then just to have something to put in a brow bone, for brow bone matte highlight and to fade a little more, I just picked up a little of my Fit Me powder that I used. It is a phase powder, so it is not going to be that pigmented because it is just a setting powder. But it works really good to help fade. And it did exactly what I needed it to. The moment that is always so hard for me, picking a color to put on my lid. I don't like to use this light one because I do like that in my inner corner. And it stays really well with just a little bit of setting spray, Fix Plus, whatever. So, and I don't use a brush to put on. I don't have nails. They're gross. It's just easier. We're actually going to go look in the Jack and Hill palettes so that I can find something. Oh, it's so pretty. I love it. I think I'm going to go with, what is this? That's not that shade. I think I'm going to go with Queen, which just looks like a really pretty golden color. I love the feeling of these. They're so soft. It is. It's just a really pretty golden color. Girl. She just keeps impressing me. With the more and more I use this palette, I'm just like, yes, I need like 10 more. Now, I won't do it today. In a different video with like a more dramatic look or even a look like this, I may use false lashes and do a wing liner. The only thing with that is I can't find a good wing liner because the one that I was using was drugstore and it was working pretty good, but then it got old and I had to throw it away. And the ones that I found, horrible so far. I did get a new Maybelline one, so maybe that's going to be better. Alright. We're just going to make sure that there's no harsh lines. There. And then we're going to leave this alone for right now. We're actually just going to take a makeup wipe. They're not makeup wipes, they're baby wipes. But they work better for my skin just because I do break out really, really bad. And the harshness of the makeup wipe along with all of my skincare is horrible. Because I like pretty much dry my face out with my skincare and then use moisturizer. And then after that, no makeup wipes, baby wipes, because they're meant for sensitive baby skin. So that's what I do. Now we're going to do face. So we're going to use the Hard Candy Sheer Envy Prime Perfect. It helps minimize lines and pores for a smooth finish. It's a mini. I got it in like a Christmas thing that I bought, but this works really good. I actually have the Benefit Professional coming in the mail. That should be here. I'm going to do a video on the little like Ulta haul and like the mega amount of stuff that I bought from ColourPop. I actually bought like 200 or something like that dollars worth of stuff. Oh yeah. All I do is spend money on makeup, I swear. Alright. With that in, I'm just gonna pat stuff. I have a towel. I've been trying out the Tarte Shape Tape Foundation. Now, even though I don't have anybody subscribed or anything, I just want to address the fact the shade range, it's ridiculous. Period. The end. I like this. This is a matte formula. It works for my skin. You don't have to get it if you don't like that it doesn't have enough shades for darker people. But it's not going to change. Like, if it was meant to be, it would have been, but they didn't want to do that. And that's not my call. So, I like to do one part of my face. I do take quite a bit. I won't lie. And then I prefer a sponge to a brush just because I don't like the brush. I think the sponge adds a little bit more. It definitely shears it out a little bit because this is intense coverage. But I like the sponge because it doesn't like streak and it adds a little dew to it so that it doesn't completely dry me out. Yes, I do blank out my lip color. We're just going to take a little more for this side of my face and just a little for my forehead. I have to be really careful with my forehead because brows, and then I have a lot of texture right now from breakouts. Trouble. That was funny. And I have to be really careful because I do like to blend it to my ear, but I have earrings in and it looks disgusting when you put foundation on earrings. It looks like you got crusty ears. Excuse me. And because of the concealer around our eyebrows, we don't have to get too close. I like to do my eyebrows and my eyes first so that I don't have stuff falling out and that I can carve out my eyebrows, and if they're too dark, pounce over a little bit and they're the right color. They look a little ashy, so you might have to put on some brow setting gel, but usually they look pretty good for me because that's just like what I like. And then I take my concealer and I do either a little or a lot. This is a little for me. This is just gonna highlight a little bit for my face. Just in the areas that I want to have accentuated. There are like some areas like I'm gonna contour oh lord, so that my face doesn't look as chubby. But I mean, you don't have to do either of those. I wait for my under eyes because the longer you let a concealer sit and dry, the more full coverage it gets. Tarte Shape Tape is full coverage to begin with, so I don't let it sit there too long, especially because when it dries and it's set. And holy hell. And it's matte. A lot of people don't like that. I like it, and I still do set it just because I get extremely oily. Extremely oily. Oh, Lord. Like, you can see, I'm not picking my nose, I promise. With the crevice of my nose here, the only fault that I find in this foundation is that it hates being there. Absolutely hates being there. So I find the only way to fix that is to bake it. And like bake it to the point where your face feels like the Sahara Desert. So that it doesn't move and stuff. Because when I don't do that, it like sweats off and it's gross. Alright, so we are going to take, well, I'm going to take, not we. This is the Makeup Revolution Luxury Baking Powder in the shade Lace. It's like a banana-y shade. Banana-y. It doesn't smell like bananas because I wouldn't use it if it did. But, and we're just gonna pat that powder right under our eyes. This gives me a little bit of a highlight because this foundation is a little light for me. Yes and no. It depends. I like a yellow undertone because that's what most of my skin is. I do have red spots, but those don't ever go away. And it's not my skin tone. And the yellow undertone of the foundation just works better for me and looks better. Because the pink undertones that I've ever tried, I look orange. I'm like, no. I look nuts because of the powder. But this is the only place I bake. The rest of it, I push into my skin. And go from there. Alright. Next, I take my fluffy brush, which is my, powder brush from Real Techniques. Can you see that? And I just take my Maybelline Fit Me powder. And I put that all over. It is a matte foundation. It dries down. But I still like the insurance. I brush off the bake around my nose for right now. Just so that I can get everything powdered. And then I actually go back in. And really bake. I like to put a little more powder around my smile lines because I have found that this foundation does do that. Does set there too. So that's what I'm gonna do. Now, bronzer. I like to use my Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. It is beaten, abused, loved. It smells really good too. And then that's for bronzer. And then I like to use my Profusion contour palette. These are the two shades that I use because this one's a little dark and ends up muddy. For that, for contour, I use this little contour brush. This is an actual contour brush. Be proud. And I just mix the middle shade on the bottom with the very light cool tone shade. These ugly ass faces, bro. Alright. And then we're going to go in with the bronzing powder, and I just take my multitask brush, load it up, and bronze up. I drag it down the sides of my nose to contour it a little bit. Under my jaw, my cheeks. And then, of course, my forehead, just to blend everything together. Under my lip. There. I need some more hairspray. And then we're going to move on to the blush. I'm going to use Milani's Tea Rose blush. It is so pretty. I love that it's in the shape of a rose. It's such a pretty nude color. Just love it. And then I like to use a stippling brush for this. Most of my brushes are Real Techniques, and if they're not, I'll tell you. I just stipple that on my cheek. Not too much. There's a lot of kickback, man. But like I said, I like to dig into my powders and my eyeshadows pretty good. Alrighty. We're gonna dust that off. Blend those two together. And then we're going to go back into the Morphe 35O palette to take the shade Pure and highlight this in the corner. The shade Pure. Oh, let's find a brush. We're going to take this little concealer brush from e.l.f. Was like $1. I'm cheap, man. I mean, if that was true, I wouldn't have spent the amount of money that I did. I spent a lot of money. And then I'm just gonna take my Urban Decay All-Nighter. They extra with these cover things. There's 2 of them. I'm gonna shake it, and I'm just gonna give it 2 spritzes. And just place that in the inner corner, and then put a little more on there just to brighten it up. Now we're also going to put on some eyeshadow underneath. Ow, I just stabbed myself in the eye. Oh, damn, this is gorgeous. Extra as hell with those things. Basically what I do is I take Universal and the second shade we used, which is Orb, mix them together, or whatever first 2 shades, and then I like to go underneath the eye. I prefer to use a big fluffy brush like this because then it doesn't end up too intense and it's nice and fluffed out. So that's what I use. And then I'm going to take my Rimmel Exaggerate Waterproof Eye Definer in 262 Blackest Black and do my upper and lower lash waterlines, not lash lines. And then I'm going to take, where'd it go? Don't play me like that. Because the mascara I'm about to use is bomb. It's expensive, but it's bomb. Do you see that? And that's just a top lash. These ugly ass mascara faces, bro. I just love it. Alright, I'm gonna finish putting mascara on this eye, and then I'll come back to do highlight and lip and set. Alright guys, I'm back to do highlight. So I'm going to take this Milani Stellar Lights highlighting palette in Rose Glow. Not gold, glow. Rose Glow. And I'm going to take this shade. It picks up so much. And the middle shade, because the other shade is a little too dark for me. These shades are called Pearl and Golden Quartz. This is just a Milani highlighting brush. I don't know how I feel about this because it's like really light and I'm like really used to like boom in your face. Like this shade looks really good in the inner corner with some Fix Plus. But I don't know if the brush just isn't good. I don't know. It's pretty, but it's just, I expected a little more. Maybe if we dig in a little more and don't tap off. There you go. Alright, figured it out. So much better. Love it. Nose. Ooh, shit. Don't need to blind somebody and be Rudolph. Hot damn. Now, I go extravagant on this lip highlight, well, Cupid's bow highlight, just for the fact that when I put on lip gloss or lipstick or whatever, it's gonna be a little... Why the hell couldn't you do that the first time? Like, what you mean? You looked excuse me, simple as hell the first time. What you mean? Like, this shouldn't... Really? Yo, guys, this palette's playing me. Girl. Okay, I see you, Milani. And last but not least, the lip color is a Cashmere Silk by Hard Candy at Walmart in the shade Creme Brulee. This is supposed to be a demi matte. The ones that I've swatched and stuff look and feel like a lip gloss, so we might not wear this. Okay, maybe I was wrong. Oh shit. I was kind of wrong. Not gonna lie. But it doesn't dry down matte. I do know that. Because I had one on and it disappeared before it dried down matte. It doesn't bother me that this isn't matte. What bothers me is that they claimed I'm just piling more and more on. You don't have to do this. I do this with everything. It just bothers me that they claim that it's going to be a demi matte. The last time I knew, demi mattes weren't glossy. They were a little bit, but nothing like this. This is damn gloss. That's a damn gloss. That's pigmented. What you mean? Alright, guys. Last step. Setting spray. Urban Decay All Nighter. The extras Hell Caps. There's 2 of them. And all I like to do is, shout out to Laura Lee for telling me to do this, press down all of the little hairs on my face. My freaking monster pimple. Ew. Alright guys, I'm going to bring you a little closer just to see the finished look. Yes, bitch. I swear I wear too much makeup to school. Well, I do that too. To work. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Subscribe, like the video, and let me know what you'd like to see, especially out of these palettes. I will definitely do a haul video of my Ulta and ColourPop stuff, and I'll definitely use those and make some videos. In further videos, there will not be an in-depth brow tutorial. That'll be the only one until it changes. Usually the only thing about my brows that change are the products. I've just love this Benefit Precisely My Brow. A1, dude. Alright, have a good day.